Planning a kitchen garden seems to be a joyous, tender, exciting, and of course, a scary experience. It's all worth it for that one tomato that comes out. But on the parallel side, planning a future in farming business doesn't seem to be that complex. Really? Well, I think so. There are wonderful entrepreneurs out there who make it look easy and breezy. Welcome to Mannkey Talkies, a talk show which was designed together with the audience interaction. A talk show where we talk about the common man's dreams, aspirations, journeys, their success stories, all the hurdles they have passed through, motivating each other. So, what did I just say? That proposition of farming business doesn't seem to be that complex. Well, why would I say that? Because today we have a guest, well, Sasi Kanth Vallem from BBF, that is Vallem Vaari Farms. He's the CEO and founder who makes this look like an easy, busy business. Let's welcome him to Mannkey Talkies. Welcome, Sasi. How are you?
Good, Madhavi. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited. I have an entourage of people with me, even more excited to be seeing you on screen along with me here on Mannkey Talkies. You are one of the most sought out and most wanted person during spring and summer across the United States. Say yes to that.
That's for sure.
First
Yes.
of all, congratulations on this booming time of the year, and thank you for sparing some time. I know you had a very, very long day, and you still have a night ahead to be taking care of some other stuff related to farming. Now, there are so many questions that poured into me when I said that we will be having Sasikant Vallem here on Mannkey Talkies, starting with to know who Sasi is. So let's talk a little bit about your journey, who and where you started this journey all about farming.
Well, few steps back. So, like
Uh-huh.
many of our friends, I've been into IT for about 25 years. It's been
Mhm,
10 years. Got into the gardening journey. When I
mhm,
moved from Switzerland into India, that's
mhm,
when I got interested in the engineering aspects of terrace gardening, and then
mhm,
slowly got into automations, electronic automation, and then realized that that's where my passion lies, and
mhm,
started a company back in Bangalore called Smart Gardens,
mhm,
wherein I used to set up terrace gardens and automate them using IoT devices. So
mhm,
then slowly got into commercial farming with greenhouses. So we
mhm,
still have our farms in Mysore.
mhm,
And when I moved to US in 2016, I continued with the farming here. And
mhm.
then finally we set up a larger enterprise called VVF AgTech Inc. in 2022 Jan. So that's the gist of my journey.
Congratulations. That is a beautiful journey, short and sweet, and so much more to talk about there. Now, investors, I believe, have spent more than they're talking about more than $7.8 billion in the AgTech industry. Is that what you read about, or that was after you joined this industry that this numbers started coming up?
Well, the numbers are all over the place, but at the same time, what we are looking at is land is vast, but at the same time, arable land is less. And
Mm-hmm,
the lot of resources that are required to make this land produce something, right?
mm-hmm,
And the food is something which is always needed. Population is increasing, but not the produce is increasing.
mm-hmm,
And so I see the industry to be quite booming, both in
mm-hmm.
terms of land, real estate investments, and also the food production. That's how we got into this, and we believe that this is going to be a very large enterprising area to be in.
Mhm. They correct me on this statement, which very popularly known as that farming is the only business that is recession proof. True or false?
No, yeah, absolutely true. Everybody has to eat, irrespective of any other activity. And
Mhm,
so, yeah, I would consider this to be a recession proof, but it has to be done right. There are people who have burned their fingers, burned their money, burned
mhm,
everything getting
uh-huh.
into farming, right? And like anything, if done right, it makes wonders. If done wrong, it really drains you out.
Because the only thing that, as a common man, that I would know that affects my garden is the weather. So, what are the other factors that give you sleepless nights, Sasi?
Uh, so we are a little beyond the weather aspect
Mm-hmm,
itself,
mm-hmm,
while weather plays a major role, especially in the farming enterprise. The business aspect of farming
mm-hmm.
is extremely complex and critical, right?
Right.
And we're at a home gardening level. whether you get a tomato or not, you get a joy of gardening. But here, if in the farming that doesn't really produce the results, you have issues with your investors, you have issues with everything around it, because we are sinking in lots and lots of capital into that. So
Right.
if you ask what is that keeps me awake, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Now to go back a little back again onto the journey, when was the day that you decided that this is what I want to do, despite having a beautiful, fruitful journey on your professional side when you moved to US? Everybody comes with dreams, but when you moved to
Right.
US, did you think about that this is where I want to land up? Or this just came up one fine day that you saw a movie or you read an article? What inspired you to get into this?
Well, in terms of the journey, it's about 10 years. We all
Mm-hmm,
started with the farming and gardening, and then so I quickly was able to realize that this
mm-hmm,
is where my passion lies. And then
mm-hmm,
when you get into the passion, it's easy for you to burn lots and lots of resources. That's more about the time and money.
mm-hmm,
Then when I'm burning it, when people are really questioning about why I'm burning this, then I realize that it has to be a money making, a profitable passion,
mm-hmm,
right? And how I got into professional farming. And
mm-hmm,
more than uh, the happiness that I get in the job, this
mm-hmm,
is where my happiness comes in. So I realize that if I'm able to make money when I'm being happy,
mm-hmm.
that's what the combination is. So that's how I got into this full time.
Okay, so you are motivating many of us, the homemakers, the entrepreneurs, or the regular schoolgoers or students. Everybody is excited to know because, like I said, you are all over the social media. Everybody is talking about you. People are tagging your name and your company's name when they want to find a product, especially the produce or the plants. So, between all this, I want to understand what is the model that you're working on. Sometimes I see you that you're also on the retail space. Sometimes I see you on big large lands. Sometimes I see you like looking for expansion models. So what are the models that are involved in VVF?
So for me to explain this, I have to give you a quick brief on what we do at VVF
Sure,
AgTech Inc.
sure.
Right? As an organization, our strategy is to invest into land, which
Mm-hmm,
is safe asset, which will, I would say, always appreciates. There may be scenarios where it may not appreciate to the level it is supposed to be, but then it will never get into a situation it gets into losses, right? With all the disclaimer stars, and I have to say, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah, there's nothing like a risk-free in life, but land investment is relatively much lower risk,
mm-hmm,
right? And so when we invest into the land, while we wait for appreciation, we profitably farm on that. When we
mm-hmm,
say profitably farm, we don't into a typical soya, typical wheat, or any other traditional crops, but we
mm-hmm,
get into very specialty produce like sitafal,
mm-hmm,
right? Mango, sapota,
mm-hmm.
those things which you don't really get in the US,
Right.
right? And apples are something which you will find all over, but
Mm-hmm,
then you will not find sitafal in your typical stores, right? You
mm-hmm,
will not find banganpalli, or you will not find Malika mangoes in your typical stores. That's where we see a huge demand, right?
uh-huh,
And we're businessmen doing farming,
uh-huh,
and we're very clear that we don't really mix up our passion with the numbers. We
mm-hmm,
really make it big in that,
mm-hmm,
and so in our strategy we have multiple lines of businesses.
mm-hmm,
We invest into the lands, we invest into tropical fruits, we invest into greenhouses. So we grow a lot of cucumbers and we sell to Walmart and various other large stores.
mm-hmm,
And we also have a large nursery, which is called the vvftropicals.com,
mm-hmm,
wherein we ship all the jasmines like Mallepulu
mm-hmm,
and Kumalli and different types of jasmines, Parijatam, Sanajaji, Virajaji, all
mm-hmm,
these things which are not easily available in your typical stores. This is
mm-hmm,
what we specialize in. And we grow a lot of fruit trees,
uh-huh,
sitaphalam trees, all of them. So with the wide lines of businesses, and we also have this business of buying the farmland, developing it to the level wherein it's interesting for the people, and making it small size such a way that people can invest into that,
mm-hmm.
right? And which means everybody can invest into the farmland and be part of it, right? So
Okay.
that's how we structured our entire organization.
So invest in the farmland and be part of it. I'm a little curious about what that means because now that you've named out certain beautiful fruits and flowers from the subcontinent, which many of us miss here, and you are
Right.
definitely catering to that particular need. And definitely doing a wonderful job in that. But when you said investing in farmland, can I or somebody who's watching that be part of it? Or it's just like I just order
Well,
something from you and I'm just done with that?
so you can have multiple roles. You can be a very lovely customer for us and give us the profits, or you can
Uh-huh.
be part of our investment group where you
Mm-hmm.
could enjoy the profits too. Right,
Okay.
and means that you can come and join us in our company as an investor, and
Uh-huh.
then go through a lot of guidelines and how do you invest. At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you could own a land, a piece of land by yourself, and we would do the farming for you. Right, you're sitting in New Jersey. If you want to own a land here in Florida, which is an appreciating land, you can
Okay.
buy the land from us, and we will give you a business plan on what would be nice for you to grow in that. And we will sell you the trees, and we will plant the trees, we will maintain the trees for you, we will harvest the fruits, and we will buy the fruits back. So that
Okay.
you, as a landowner, you are doing your job, you're continuing on that. Whenever you like, you will come and enjoy your land. It's your land. But
Mm-hmm.
then we are the management company running your land, farming your on your land. So this is a great option. Many people are interested in, and we sold quite a bit of lands in that model.
Okay, so if I had to buy some land in Florida or the zones that are applicable here, what is the process for that? I just reach out to you, or I reach out to my own realtor who helps me go through that, and then I approach you.
So if you are looking at buying the land in a community-based model, we call it as a managed farming services. We have
Managed funds.
multiple.
Okay. Mhm.
Yes. In the managed farming services, you will buy the land from us,
Okay.
and we will farm on that land. So we will handle all the realtor aspects of the land purchase, and we'll make it very easy, like a platform for you. You can just do everything online,
Mhm.
like an Amazon. Just the way you're ordering your products, you would be able to buy your land.
Very interesting. I never knew that this conversation would lead to something more like a Pandora's box there. I just thought, there's so much of supply demand for these plants and fruits across United States, especially for the immigrants and the people of the subcontinent who are missing it. That's what it's all going to be. But you are a man with multitasker and definitely approachable. I did notice that even as a consumer or as a customer, when I tried to approach you, you were there hands on at every aspect of your business. That interesting that you definitely take the time out and reach out. So now when you mentioned this, that you help from the start to end of having this land or taking care of it till the producers uh, uh, coming up and also buying that back, is it only for Florida or it could be any part of the US? Are there any zones that you particularly are interested and you would want
Uh,
our viewers to
we
know?
are very much doing in Florida
Uh-huh.
because when we are focusing on tropical trees, Florida is the best climate.
Mm-hmm.
In the gardening zones, if you look at Florida towards the south of Florida, extreme south, which is Homestead, that's a zone 10B,
Mm-hmm.
wherein the zones are defined based on the chill hours, right, at the
Okay.
freeze periods. So the freeze
Uh-huh.
is very, very less negligible in those areas. As and when
Beautiful.
you move towards central and north Florida, the chill hours increases. So as of now, we are open for this model only in Florida because that's
Uh-huh.
where we see the bank. And but if there's a model, if there's a land that we identify in places anywhere in the other parts of the United States, we may consider at some point, but not at this
Okay.
point.
Now, the
Yeah.
space that you are in, how competitive is it? I mean, are there many people there in this part of it, or it's just you're the first timers there, or you're the people who have come with this initiative?
There are people who may be investing into land and who may be doing a little bit of farming, but
Mm-hmm.
then I think we would be able to proudly say that we are the first company who are giving you or giving everybody the option or an opportunity in a multifaceted business like this, right? Having the lands and running the show with the farming and everything. I think I believe this is a first of a kind model, and we would like to have more and more people coming in
Mm-hmm.
because a line is relatively big or small when there is another line. So we would love to
Absolutely.
have more people coming in, and it's going to be a very healthy competition in this.
Beautiful. So I'm looking at you and I'm hearing all this entire journey of yours, and I do understand this cannot be a one-man show because there must be a pillar behind you, a support system. Is there a team? And would you want to share something about your team? Who are the people who are involved with you in this model?
Sure. So the journey started with quite a lot of enthusiastic people. And
Uh-huh.
whenever we talk about the ideas, it's been few years that I have started this group called Indian Farms and Gardens in USA, which is the
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group, which is about 65, 66,000 people. And
Uh-huh.
a lot of my platform is on that. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our investors are from the group and friends and people who have worked with me, who volunteered with me in the farms. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we started. And our company is structured such a way that while I'm the founder and CEO of the company, we have a complete backing by about 110 people who have already invested with us,
Mm-hmm.
and we make it very transparent that we have four additional directors who
Mm-hmm.
always have access to our banks and who have always access to our profit and loss and everything. And all of our investors look at the WhatsApp groups, and it's almost like they are in the farm every day in and day out. So
Okay.
that's how we structure the company. And this company is made up of 20 full-time people who are the crew on the ground who make this entire thing happen. While I'm roaming all around and making things,
Mm-hmm.
our cucumbers are growing. We are selling cucumbers to different large stores. Our pomelos are growing. So that's
Mm-hmm.
all the great work of my team on the ground who's running the show. And a big shout out to all of them.
Wonderful. And what about your family? Your family is also part of this business, or they're just giving you the support that you take care of it and we'll take care of the home front?
Exactly. So yeah, they're just supporting me in the back end, and that's a great thing that's happening now.
Okay. Now, in this entire model, do you expect that people who want to invest in that need to know a little bit more about farming, or should they have some degrees or qualifications in that? That is one part of the question. Second part would be if anybody wants to join your team, are there any preset qualifications that you expect from them to have before joining you?
In terms of the qualification for somebody to invest into this, there is nothing. A love for passion is extremely important. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody is looking at oh, how much am I investing and how much am I getting in the next 1 year, they are not the people for this. There's somebody coming with the love for farming and understands the risks in the farming and
Mm-hmm.
comes to the investment as an investment with heart, not with just with the brain or mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we have every guidelines or every rules set on how we don't let any of these investments fall through, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so in simple terms, there is no qualification for somebody to be coming in and joining us, right? In
Okay.
terms of investment. For somebody to join in our team, we would really love to have somebody to be on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and we do not work from home option. We have to go on the ground. Right.
That's a big part of it. And like you were mentioning that you just started this, and how did this all affect during the pandemic? How was the business at that point, or did you have any major hurdles and obstacles that you wanted to share and you overcame that with the support of your team or individual thought process? What was the
So
biggest hurdle for you at that point?
foundation of the company has started during the pandemic or even much before the pandemic. So we have been, me personally have been farming in Georgia in some of the leased lands. I've set a couple of farms for people, and
Mm-hmm.
the farms are running well and they're enjoying that. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, when I worked on the leased land, a lot of people came to us for volunteering and we sold produce. But
Mm-hmm.
pandemic changed quite a bit on the real estate scenario.
Okay.
We have made of investments with the
Mm-hmm.
power of collective capital, and all of them has appreciated quite a bit, and we all are going to enjoy the fruits of that, right? And a lot of retail plants business increased.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of seeds business increased during the pandemic because everybody is at home and they wanted to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and the health consciousness have increased, and that resulted into buying seeds and home gardening. And we also have IndianPlantsandSeeds.com. That's our website.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the website through which we sell a lots of seeds across the United States. And we just started about 2, 3 years back,
Mm-hmm.
but we have become one of the largest seed seller in the United States for Indian seeds. So
Wow.
pandemic has been good, especially for this business. That's why, as you asked me, is it like a recession free? Absolutely, it's a recession pandemic free business.
Absolutely. That's very interesting. So good to know so many things that you have done. And I'm sure many of our viewers are excited to know about how to be more part of it. And everybody who's sitting on the edge and thinking, is this for me? Is this for me? Well, Sasi is here right now, answering many of the questions that you have forwarded to me. And also, he would be happy to answer any of your questions if you can in your comments. Now, Sati, you also spoke about the retail business, and you said that during the pandemic, and apart from that, also, we as homemakers or general public also love our little corner in the home, the green space, right? I'm not talking about the green space at the bank, but definitely the green space in the corner of our house. And it is the most precious part of our life. And I
That's
have been following many of your posts, and you've been giving constant updates on what the inventory is, what's the delivery time, and if there are any delays. I've also seen pictures of crowd coming in and gathering at all these retail locations, if I may call them, where there's almost like a stampede kind of a situation that everybody's so excited to go. Tell us how this entire scenario falls in place. What are your concerns during uh, such days where the supply and demand are not able to match each other?
all right. So these businesses that we are starting are first of a kind, and so we
Mhm,
don't have a existing predefined structure where we just follow through and then set it up right.
mhm,
So same time, we don't wait for these set paths. We always uh, go through these uncharted paths wherein we would really create that for us. For example, the especially the example that you took,
mhm,
it was a sale of seedlings here in Atlanta, and
uh-huh,
as you know, home gardeners are always excited to get their seedlings. One of the big reason is that our seedlings are of very high quality. When you
mhm,
put them into the ground, the time to production is going to be very short, and
mhm,
because we grow them in greenhouses till they mature, and so everybody wants to get them.
mhm,
We weren't really prepared for the kind of a crowd that we received on that day,
mhm,
and with one of the retail store outlet with 150 car parks, everything filled up, and then we really had to look at a different ways of doing it. But then that gave us an opportunity to learn quite a bit on that.
absolutely. Mhm, mhm,
And the next event which we conducted, it went on very smooth. We were able to manage the crew well, manage the crowd well, and I wouldn't blame anybody, but it's just that the way people excitement is handled during this sale could have been a little different. But then that's part of the whole excitement of love for
yeah.
plants.
And it's a learning curve for you as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. But what is your message for the consumers or the customers who are, ordering online, or the waiting time is there? People are anxious because, like somebody in the East Coast, they have limited time of the season, right? They want their plants by that particular time. Maybe somebody from the other part of the state could wait a little more. So, what is the message for them? What do you say to them? This is a good time for you to send out that message also.
Right. Well, uh, good or bad, people are heavily spoiled by Amazons of the world, wherein you click an order and you get it tomorrow morning. So
Mhm,
uh, we will be there soon, but then we are not there yet, right?
mhm,
And we are dealing with highly perishable plants, and we are dealing with plants with the inventories which are not very clear, and
mhm,
so we will have delays. And but then we will end up we will definitely update everybody on the delays, and
mhm,
then if delays that are unforeseen and if we can't handle it, we'll just tell them to. All that my request is, please be patient. And I know the excitement when the moment you order a parijatam as a plant, it's very hard for you to just wait till the time you get it and start growing that, right?
mhm,
And we will do everything to make them available and fulfill them within 2 working days,
mhm,
not going forward in the future, but
mhm.
then we will need time to get to that state. So just be patient. And being in farming and gardening, one
Mhm.
important criteria is the patience. So that's something which we really expect from everybody.
Yeah, nature teaches you that firsthand, and now Sasi is definitely reinforcing that aspect that it's everything is not like even the parijatam, like you just mentioned, the plant itself or the tree itself takes its own sweet time to flower. So patience is the only virtue here. Now let's educate the consumers and the customers here about this terminology AgTech. What involves all this? Why is technology and agriculture becoming the big word, and what should be, as maybe students of who are planning to pursue this particular line, what is your message, or what is it that you would encourage them to learn or talk about at homes?
Right. So the reason why we named our company within AgTech is that we are not just a farm producing fruits or plants or vegetables.
Mm-hmm,
We wanted to be a company who are filling up the certain gaps in the industry, especially in the technology of farming. And
mm-hmm,
there are quite a bit of microcontrollers, IoT devices, which are working on artificial intelligence and machine learning on a cloud platforms.
mm-hmm,
But then I'm on the ground, when I look at all these devices, there are quite a bit of gaps in this. Right,
mm-hmm,
as a farmer, I see that there is a need for improvement in this. So rather than making some organizations rich by buying their produce, buying their products, we have started our journey to work on those problems and create solutions, and even get into the technology aspects of farming. So that's
mm-hmm,
going to be a line of business that we'll be heavily focusing on. And we are looking at our valuations to be quite high because of the technology space, along with the real real estate, which is the farmlands and the aspects of farming. And
mm-hmm.
your question about how would the new generation would be getting into,
Yes. Mm-hmm,
it's a high technology.
mm-hmm,
Farming is not just the way you look into it is just the soil and just the plant.
mm-hmm,
All of our greenhouses, they run on IoT controlled devices based on moisture in the plant. The
mm-hmm,
irrigation system switched on and off, and then
mm-hmm,
based on the temperature inside your greenhouses, we have devices controls the fans, and that controls the humidity, controls the moisture levels. So
mm-hmm,
these are all based on the technology, and there is a much more for newer generation to get into, understand the science of plants, the biology aspects of it. There is a lot of chemistry in that. There's a lot
mm-hmm,
of engineering aspect in that. All of
mm-hmm.
them combined to is the latest way of doing the farming. So that's what we are getting into.
Wow, there's so much science behind just that one plant that we think that isn't growing here, but there's an entire science behind that, like what our school teacher taught, but lots more to learn from a business model. Now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? This could be a very, very, cliche kind of a question, but considering this is such an industry where things change, demand changes, supply changes, maybe the regulations could also change. So, what are you looking at 5 years from now? Are you going to go public? Do you see yourself as ringing the bell someday very soon?
Absolutely. I mean, so we have already, when we started in 2022 Jan,
Mm-hmm.
we said 2027 is when we wanted to go public,
Oh.
right? And
Uh-huh.
at a valuation of a few million dollars, few
Mhm.
millions, we said it's about $50 million. But then looking at the speed at which we are moving, I think we should be reaching $100 million very quickly, and we wanted to really go public. So that's the future we're looking for the company.
Now we just have a couple more minutes left. So, what are the things that key points that you think that you wanted to talk about and you have not got a chance to mention that? Just take those minutes here to talk about it. Anything from investing point or a partnership point or any other aspect of the business that you want to share with the
So in
viewers.
terms of the investments, as we talked about, there are quite a bit of opportunities for everybody to be part of our journey,
Mm-hmm,
and always reach out to me to understand what are the different roles and what are the different ways to invest, because there
mm-hmm,
are options for us just to invest into the land. They can become part of the group where they're only investing into specific land in their own state. Right,
mm-hmm,
we're coming up with the model VVF Bhumi. VVF
mm-hmm,
Bhumi is a model wherein uh, uh, individuals can invest into a part of a farmland which is 100 acres, and then they can become a small part of it, and they can enjoy the appreciation of that particular farmland instead of investing into the whole company. So there are quite a bit of different models. And on the tropicals, vvftropicals.com, that's where we are looking at expanding more into on the retail space. More than along with online, we are also expanding into different states in terms of physical stores. So especially in Atlanta, we started our farm with a 15-acre farm, wherein we are going to develop into an event center and also set up a farm stand there. So you can get sitafal, mango, and all those exclusive fruits in your location. We started that model in Atlanta, but then we will have this model across different cities within the United States.
Okay. And are you part of any festivals or carnivals, or where you have your stalls or anything where people can come and talk to you, look at your team, or talk about anything else there? Something like VVF tourism?
Okay. So that brings to a very good point. So we will be participating in Thana. That's happening on July 7th, 8th, and 9th in Philadelphia Convention Center. So we will have our booth there, and we're happy to meet anybody who would like to understand about our models, and I would love to greet them with Gorintaku there. And we are going to have our plants displayed, and yeah, that's where we would love to meet all of you guys there.
Awesome. And we wish you the best on that. So just as a parting note, is there any website or any other contact point where people could reach out for more information about all that information that you shared today? And if they want to get more information about it, how do they contact you or your team members?
So vvfagtech.com is our website, wherein come in and look at what we are doing, and also contact me on my contacts. Especially I'm on Facebook. So if you look at for my name, you will find me there, and a simple messenger message is good enough for you to reach out to me, and then I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
And you've answered many questions today here on Mannkey Talkies. We were so delighted to have you here. And I thought it would just be a talk about one jasmine and one tomato and then one sitafal, but then this is a booming business. I'm excited, and thank you so much for sparing some time today and explaining this entire model about AgTech, farming business, and of course, retail farming also. Your final words for our viewers, Sasi? Thank you.
So thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's a great platform for me to present what we are doing. And I wish everybody grows lots and lots of fruits and vegetables at their home, and have a happy garden.
Thank you. Happy gardening. So friends, that was Mannkey Talkies for you today with Sasi Kanth Vallem, the CEO and founder of VVF. That is Vallem Vaari Farms. So just like the story that he has shared today here, if you want to be part of this program, it's very simple. The number and the email ID scrolling at the end of this program, that's where you reach us, and you are part of this program talking about your journey, and together we take it to the next level. Thank you, Sasi. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Madhavi.